See, Jesus will change your life, but to complete those changes, you need the church. God wants us to be plugged into one another. The only organization Jesus ever founded was a local church because he knew it could really change your life. We do need one another. And so it says in 1 Peter 5, by the way, it says, be on your guard and stay awake. So this is God saying, hey, wake up, right? Pay attention. And he says this, your enemy, the devil, is like a roaring lion sneaking around to find someone to attack. Did you know lions, when they go to attack a sheep, they actually wait for one of the sheep to wander off on their own? So when you wander off from the pack, when you wander off from the church, you are very susceptible to the devil attacking you. And so just one more good reason why you should be plugged into a local church. Get involved. I highly recommend it because it's for the betterment of your entire marriage and family. Don't be spiritually disconnected. Once you separate from a church, it's easy to get separated. And so I encourage you, stay plugged into the local church. I've seen couples and I've heard stories and they leave, and it's just a matter of time until I hear they're not even together anymore. So it's very, very common. In fact, one of the first scriptures, I meant to read this at the beginning, Song of Songs says this, catch all the foxes, those little foxes, before they ruin the vineyard of our love. You know, one fox can destroy an entire vineyard. They just eat everything, just one little fox. And so in one of these traits that I'm covering today, even one of them can destroy your entire marriage. And the first one is being spiritually disconnected. We really do need each other. The second one's probably obvious to you, but that is adultery. This can destroy your marriage overnight, in an instant. And so at first I wrote for this point an affair, but I don't like that word. Makes it sound too cool, too fun. When the truth is, it's adultery. Let's call it what it really is. And so it's not a fling. It will destroy your marriage and your family. And if you don't believe that, just talk to anyone whose parents have done that, and they will tell you that the day they discovered that was the darkest day of their life. And so it's a horrible, horrible thing what it does to people. So I want to encourage you to stay clear of that. It says in Exodus 20, you shall not commit adultery. It made the all-conference Big Ten of God's rules. He's like, do not commit adultery. Why? Because he knows how much it destroys you. He eats you alive. It hurts your spouse. It destroys your children. It really is incredibly damaging. So I want to encourage you to avoid that at all costs. Matthew 6, Jesus gave us some good insight into how to avoid it. He said this, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. So he's like, basically, walk away from anything or anyone tempting to you. Just stay away from that person. I've actually had to counsel couples before. I've had to tell the guy or the girl, hey, you know what? You just need to change jobs. Just literally move companies. If there's someone there that you've connected with, you got to get away from them. And what oftentimes happens, this is how it typically begins. It actually doesn't typically begin physical, it begins emotional. So you're frustrated with your spouse, and then what do? You go and you lean on someone else emotionally. Oh yeah, me and my husband, we're having a lot of problems. Who are you telling that to? You telling it to a girlfriend, you telling it to another guy? So you need to be careful who you say that to. In fact, honestly, I would say it to a counselor or a pastor. Don't say it to anyone else. And so get that worked out. But what happens is we begin to lean on someone else. And, we think, oh, man, they're so nice, and they really understand me, unlike my spouse. That's how it begins. And so I just want to warn you of that. And one of the ways you know you're falling for this is when you get dressed in the morning and you're getting ready, who do you think of when you're trying to pick out an outfit? When you put your cologne and perfume on, who are you thinking of that's going to smell that? So be very, very careful. You want to guard yourself. Stay clear of this. And so, because it really can destroy your life. In fact, big warning on this one is social media. It's just so easy to connect. And even worse, it's easy to connect to an old flame. Maybe someone from college or high school days, someone you used to date. It's easy to connect with them. I have heard this countless times that someone reached out to them, DM'd them, and they're like, hey, how's it going? What's going on with you now? Here's what I'm doing. I just need to tell you right now, it's really not worth knowing what they're doing. It's just not. Who cares what they're doing? I mean, I'm not trying to be ugly. I mean, literally, who cares? Like, you're not married to that person. So I just want to encourage you to stay clear of that, DMs and connections on Facebook, things like that. We're seeing more and more of that today. And so you really have to guard yourself from that kind of thing, okay? So I just want to encourage you to be careful. In fact, in a real practical sense, that will keep you on the up and up. First of all, hopefully your heart's keeping you on the up and up, hopefully. But let me tell you something that will really make you sensitive to these kind of things. Why don't you just give all your social media passwords to your spouse? And that just is a great way to show trust, to say, hey, you know what, I'm not up to no good. I just want you to know I'm on the up and up, and here's all my passwords. You can check my account anytime you want. It's not a problem, and I'll take your passwords too. And so it's no problem. If this has been a problem in the past, why don't you cancel your accounts altogether or create a combined account? Instead of being Bob's account, Mary's account, have Bob and Mary's account. It just kind of keeps things a little cleaner and easier to protect you. So just want to encourage you to guard yourself from an affair. It really can destroy your life. There was a guy, an older man, that was in the supermarket. He couldn't find his wife. So he was like, man, where is she? So finally he couldn't find her. So he saw this attractive young woman. He said, excuse me, do you mind if I stand here and talk to you for a second? She was like, why? And he said, well, anytime I talk to a young attractive woman, my wife just appears out of nowhere. So I encourage you to guard yourself from the wrong person. All right, that's important. So watch out for an affair. Thank you for watching the Church Unlimited YouTube channel. But don't stop now. Join our online family so you can stay connected with what God is doing here. Subscribe to this channel and hit the bell so that you never miss a service, and don't forget to share with a friend. You can also support the ministry by clicking the Give Now button to help us continue to impact lives around the world. Thank you for watching, and God bless.